just arrived. There's like a little ferry thing that pulls your car over, but on this side there's already this castle structure here. So we're gonna check this out. Well, I am. She's gonna watch the car because it barely starts as it is, and so there's a big concern that if we shut it off, it may not start again. And we may actually have to go drive a couple kilometers after this just to make sure that it's boosted, because just running it is not helpful. Last day though. There's no signs here, nothing really to tell you what it is, but you can see kind of all rubble filled in there. Some turrets. It's incredible how much of it is still intact so perfectly. Everywhere you go, there's just cow shed everywhere, so you gotta watch where you step. Okay, you can see some of the old window frames there. There's a walkway. Little gates. Iron gates, I should say. And the cool courtyard here. Wow. I wish there was some kind of plaque or something that told us how old this is. Wow, there's a lot of cow shit everywhere. Incredible. Let's go over here. And just imagine what it looked like. Kind of medieval times type stuff. Oh, that's a small opening. Look at that ceiling. We have another one over here. Oh, I think they've stoned that up. That is somewhat new. So another opening. That looks like it just goes right outside. Oh, just to the other outer wall. Let's see if I can't get that. There we go. Just incredible. Just perfectly open to the public. Oh, another one. Oh, it's going to be the exact reverse, maybe. Except for no tunnel in here. This appears to be some kind of barracks. That would be my guess. And so each of these rooms could be rooms they lived in, cooked in, and armories. I think we're looking at more of the same. Yeah. Well, that's incredible. And it's not even technically on the right side of the river of Butrint. So let's go on over the other side now. Butrint is one of the oldest cities in this whole area. They have proof to date it back to around 12th century BC to 10th century BC, but also there are many who say they have plenty of evidence that it goes even older to the prehistoric times. The stuff they found here goes back to when Greece had an empire here, and then the Romans later. Much of it is still intact and for all of us to see, but the reason it was abandoned was an earthquake that took place in the medieval times that flooded this whole area and took a lot of buildings down. And so since then, no one has lived here. These ruins here are what's left of a building that was transformed in the 5th century as a Roman palace. And you can still see the foundations are very intact. I'm sure if they dug much deeper, they'd find quite a bit more, because often you will see the archways still here at the ground level, which tells you that it went further down. And it appears that this was the remnants of the well. And this was probably a courtyarded area. You can see there used to be walls here, but out here you also have a stone floor. So I'm going to do a little guessing here and say this might have been a kitchen in each of these spots. Maybe? Where you prepared food, stored food. Either way, there's plenty of them dotting all over. And here, maybe a shrine of some sort. I'm sure it was a beautiful palace that was here. And can you believe it? We're talking 5th century, a very, very, very long time ago. Although, not as old as some of the buildings that we're going to see that are 12th century BC, which is incredible length of time. Oh, must be a mussel farm right over here by somebody's got going on. Either that or some kind of farm fishing. Oh yeah, and you can see the archway here, so it still went quite a bit down from this point. Because that's only about 2.5 feet off the ground. Just under a meter. Now this dates back long before cannons, yet they still made these stone walls quite large. And these are the city walls that go all the way around the whole city.
You can see the archways.
Yeah, and see how high that would have been? Because see the archway on the other side?
It would have been like...
It would have been much deeper.
Yeah, because that's the door archway.
Yeah.
So.
There's a pedestal down there. And actually you can see the archways here too. There's one there and one there. So this goes quite a bit down. And this is the second floor way up there, which is maybe about 6 feet off the ground. Yeah. Even the architecture here, you can see how they fill this type of dome, where there was probably a dome throughout this whole area. You can see it on all the corners.
These are so like well done.
Yeah, so we would be in a domed area right now. So the reason this is all part of Albania now and not part of Greece, which is just over there, is that in 1913, when they made a claim on this, on a treaty with London, France stepped in Italy stepped in and said no, and they fought it. And so in the end, they were at a stalemate. And so they decided to give it to Albania. And so Albania had taken over this area since 1913. And this whole area is a Byzantine monument. Now, I don't know if it's picking up in the camera, but this is what the mosaic would have looked like on the ground of this area here. Very ornate. You get to sit on a piece of history here.
I know. It's so ornate how the carvings, the pillars, even over there, like those ones are.
Found another well. And again, see the archways are barely above ground. This one is full of water in here. I guess it's the bathhouse now. And they have a measuring stick there, so you can see there are archways. And according to this, it looks like it's 20 meters deep, the water right now. That is super deep. And check out these two turtles just hanging out. See another one's, oh, a few of them swimming in the water. And here you can see what Butrint looked in the 5th century. Hopefully. Trying to get an angle where you can actually see this whole city. And this was the Great Basilica that was constructed in that century. Oh, and you can actually see that they used to have this bridge that would take you across. And then during the medieval period, after the earthquake, many of the buildings collapsed and the bridge had collapsed as well. But in earliest time, you would have to sail across. Well, who's hungry? Some algae in there. Just asking for turtles.
Wow.
This continues all the way down. Really difficult to get to it all, though. Gotta jump and let's see. There we go. Oh yes, it just continues and continues. And this is all mud. I'm gonna go up here. Wow. And that, maybe is what they were showing us, was the bridge that continued out all the way to the water and brought you all the way to the basilica. And then you had all these underground rooms. They've only excavated so far. There's still probably quite a bit more back there.
Wow.
And this area is called the gymnasium. But then it says perhaps a pagan shrine. So maybe the word for gymnasium is different. Maybe. Look how deep that goes. All the way down there, and who knows how much further it goes. Well, a lot of underground rooms, that's for sure. A hallway right there. And this, who knows, may have gone very, very high. Especially if it's a shrine. You can see columns at the top, like it continued up. mosaics are still there, if you look closely. This one is probably the best. Not sure what this would have been. Would have been a bath? Perhaps. Well, we got a lot of answers. So the Romans had built that, where you saw the mosaics. Up here. This was a fountain. And that path we were walking along that I thought was part of the bridge or the path, no, that was an aqueduct system that we were walking down. And you wanted to be very close to the aqueduct in order to siphon off water, and so the wealthy got it first and then trickled down to the poorest. So along this old Roman road, it leads us to the Forum. And it was the famous Julius Caesar who made this a Roman colony in the 1st century BC, who then had this whole Greek marketplace that was in this place here turned into the Forum. There was tons of expansion after he named it a Roman colony. And so you see, it just continues on and on down this way. We've come upon this tower here in the forest, right by the Forum. Let's see. Wow, that's incredible.
I wonder what it is.
So that's just for a door to go into this huge room, which had an arched ceiling. And then we see down here.
That's all you, baby.
All right, here I go. We've already seen snakes, and huge bees. Wow, it's pitch black in here. And the truly incredible thing is it was only in 2005 when archaeologists first found this site and began excavating. So they really put a lot of effort into it to get it to this point already. Let's take a look. Oh, you can see. Well, I'll try to make it so you guys can see. There's another floor down there, like a basement, that would have lined everything up, likely, down there, under here. And here, they found some murals. It clearly isn't easy to make out anymore, but they've built this roof up here in order to protect it from the sun and try to preserve much as possible. And beside the Forum, you have the Roman baths. And the bathhouses went for quite some distance. Could have held a tremendous amount of people. And then, connected to the baths, you have the amphitheater. And here, from the 4th century BC, this was a church that was built to honor the god of Acephalus, which I might be butchering. Certainly never heard of that god before. And now we're going to head up to the more medieval time, where there is a castle up there. It's a Venetian castle, and there are other medieval structures that are still there that would have been one of the last things built in this area. And the castle was restored in 1930 as well. Okay, as you can see, we're very exhausted. It was a heck of a climb up in this hot climate. But we're here at the Venetian castle. And the really cool thing is, well, they got air conditioning here. Blessed be the air conditioning. Like I said, it was restored in 1930. Look at the old iron gates. We got a cannon in the corner here. We got a statue. got a bay. You got a view of Korcha and the rest of Greece. Very nice. This is quite the courtyard. We're gonna lock her in the tower. And here in the museum they have all the relics they found on the site, including the busts of statues. I should say busts and statues. I can't even pronounce these names. Well, that's Demetra, 3rd and 4th century BC. Apollo, the son of God. Statue of Artemis. Statue of a Muse. Can't say that one. Oh, the head of Aphrodite. Think she's missing a nose. Yep. Oh, and here's another one. Head of Aphrodite, the goddess of love. Also missing a nose. They're all missing noses.
Yeah. They just didn't make them like they do
Yeah,
now.
they don't make noses like they used to. Oh my God, just poured. Who do we got over here? And then you have the bust of Antimonus, lover of Emperor Hadrian. This was found in the Forum, a statue of Tagadi. Look at the detail in this one. Statue of Femur. No name on that one. And I'm still waiting for Julius Caesar. So is this it? No. Statue Tagadi.